Hi everyone, this is Hunter, one of the students taking this class here. My presentation this week is on navigation and design principles. Sorry I'm a bit late, is trying to get everything done. But I'm going to go through some steps here I have on my Word document here, and then just kind of explain kind of what I feel what's best for navigation and design from what I've learned and just what I've seen in other websites. So I have a couple websites I want to show you and just explain kind of some things about them, and then we can go from there. So the first one, it's not this, it's actually this. So I found this website is on the, I guess type in like CSS design like websites, and these like this website popped up with like this list of like I guess very nicely designed websites, and I just chose one, and it's really nice as you can see. It might not be in English, however, it's very just simple, and it gets everything you need to do. So you have a navigation bar here. When you hover over each one, it's almost like a pivot effect that navigates to that page or that area that talks about voyages or talks about this and so forth. And then you have more content with the button to kind of go forward and take on that. So it's very simple, very clean, and very efficient. And you can scroll down here, and it has another like maybe like some main buttons you click to go forth and accomplish what you need to look for. And it looks like this might be like a travel place, like, oh, I want to go here, and so forth. So again, each website is going to be different depending on what you're creating, and you're going to have to stylize it differently to what you want. But you can also see this website is responsive, so which means if I'm to resize it, then the website will adjust with me. So I went to a mobile version of it. So if I'm on phone, my navigation is now replaced with this, and it pops out full screen here for easily clickable experience. And I think this shows I'm on a mobile, but I have all the things I would need on desktop, but in a mobile layout. So I might be able to stylize a bit differently. Maybe this I slide over with my thumb and so forth. So it's designed for the mobile experience. And the other website is actually like Microsoft's MSN page here. So when you go to this page, you see it's basically just a lot of blocks, some navigation, I have my recent searches, just basically what I would need for a browser type page. When I resize it, it does go as well to see, like right there, kind of shifts from a desktop or tablet view to a more mobile view. But then you see right here, kind of like, I believe it will stop. Yeah, so it stops right here for like a mobile view, and so you're like, oh, why is that? I thought it should be responsive. And I believe it's because this website here, there's actually two versions of it. So the other one, it was just one website responsive all the way around. But Microsoft's MSN page will load either the desktop and tablet version, I guess you can say, or like a .mobile in the URL address here, which I'm not sure where it went, but so that's why it will not respond all the way over here. But instead, if you were to pull this up on your phone, it would load up the mobile version of the website. So it's two separate websites, I guess you can say. But yeah, so I guess there's two different approaches you can take. I prefer this method, where it's just one website itself responsive all the way around, rather than like a semi-responsive website here up to a point, and then another website designed specifically for the phone. There are some good uses for that, so I can understand why they did that. But I think for the most cases, it's better to go the other approach. Awesome. So that was the websites I wanted to show you, just kind of compare those things. If you could take a good look around and see what looked good and what maybe you would like to do differently. And so the next topic is the navigation bar. And so navigation bar, if you go on W3 Schools, is where I learned all this stuff here, is what you come across, I guess, right here, you'll see, or this, and it tells you how to build it. So it's basically how to get to where you want to go, right? And so sometimes you'll see navigation on the top, and sometimes you'll see it on the side here. These are also clickable things to go to different pages. And I believe that's the way our school page is. If I can find it here, our school has a primarily left side navigation view. I don't like on the left side. I like it all on the top. That's me personally. I think that's better. Our top has like a breadcrumbs layout showing you what you've been through. So I mean, it works. But again, it's up to you to choose what you like in your website. And this is a navigation bar I'm building for the weather thing here so far. So I have like just what W3 Schools will show me, and then this will respond all the way. So it's centered all the way, and when you go to the mobile layout, it should expand full screen here and so forth. And I'm trying to work on that. So this should just say, I guess, menu. You click on it and then it'll expand with all this content. But I'm still trying to figure out how to do that here. And you can see the way I built this is just pretty simple. You start with I put it in my header, but you can put it, I think, wherever you want really, but I think it's normally supposed to be in the header. You do the nav tag, UL tag, and then each line item tag you have in here. For my top one, I have a div tag inside. I'm not sure if it might not be like the most proper way to code, but it's to group my image and my home text here. I like it personally rather than having another content up top, is because it feels more clean to me. Of course, I'll probably add like the title of the website, but I'd rather add it like maybe here, and like Preston, Idaho, or I'm not sure, maybe inside here. I'm still considering, still have some work to do. But that's kind of cool thing about being the designer, is it's really up to you what you want to do and what works best for the users, and over time you can gather feedback from people that use your applications or use your websites and modify your layout adjusting to that. But just to make sure, because some people might really like this design, then you change it and they'll get upset, like Snapchat when they change their UI. Even though I think it might be for the better, other people will get really upset about it and then I guess cry about it online. But anyways, that's another topic. Next off, we have the drop down. So drop down is really useful in design, I think, because when you have, I guess, some navigation principles up here, sometimes it drops down to new, more information. So I would just hover over Fish Haven, and I might drop down to more different categories. I should have this website pulled up, but I'm a big fan of Halo here, and I think they have a good website that it kind of displays what I'm thinking of. So let me get there real quick. Apologies for the wait here. It shouldn't be too much longer, but it does have a good explanation of what I'm trying to talk about. All right, so they have their navigation view up here, and it kind of highlights with the proper, just more navigation design principles. It highlights on hover, or might show like an extra icon where you are. But let's say I click on games, so they don't do a hover effect, but they do a click effect. You click on it, and then it will drop down with more information, rather than loading up a new page for you to click on this again. And so this is even extended even more. So on top of games, they have these categories, and you click on this and it expands even more categories. I mean, you can get really in depth what you want to do. Um, but for most people, maybe just the simple navigation bar would be fine, or maybe even the navigation with just a drop down without these extra arrows and so forth. So I don't know if with this website, with the weather thing, if I'll add it like that. Maybe I'll just keep it like this because I'm not too sure what we need to do yet. But yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to explain with Dropdown. And also CSS or W3 Schools has a tutorial with that as well. I think they do theirs on hover effect. Dropdown menu. It just kind of teaches you how to do it. So it's very efficient. But if you click the try it now or try it yourself, I can kind of explain how theirs works. I think theirs is hover when I did it. Yeah, so if you mouse over, so this would be like your navigation point here. Like let's say here's your Preston, Idaho. You'd hover over Preston, Idaho, and it'd pop up this hello world or whatever you wanted to have, and you can make this clickable to have more navigation ways to go around your website. So it's whatever is most efficient you feel, and yeah. And so let's see, the next thing on this list here is a template. So also with choosing what is best to use for your website, it's good to have a nice template written down first. And this is a good example of like what a pretty good template is. So this one has the header up top, like your image, I guess for our weather site. Like the sun might be like local Idaho weather. Then your navigation menu with your different options like Preston, Idaho, and so forth. And then when you would resize this to mobile view, it would show something different, but I'm not sure if this one will here. I guess it does resize, but it's not like different, I guess. I don't know how to explain. But anyways, then they have the main content, footer, and content on the sides. Me personally, I would get rid of the content on the sides and just have header, navigation, main content, footer. It's more simple that way. But this is just, if right here you said is one of the structures, but not all of them. So then they'll kind of explain how to make it and so forth. So definitely a good resource. I'm sure most of you know all about this website because it's pretty much my lifesaver, so I'm sure it is yours as well. But it's very good just to nail down a good template before you go all out, and maybe even go a step above this and say, hey, my navigation, I'd like to have drop down, so it expands these ideas and so forth. And then I guess right before I go to what works with your website is just more of the design principles. There's also this good website I found here called Coolors or Colors, whatever, and it helps you get like a good color template for your website. So it says press spacebar to generate color schemes. So you don't have to have like 5 colors. I like to have around 4. But this will generate just colors that would look good together. And then like, let's say you like, oh, I like all these colors, but this one just feels out of place. You can click on this and it would like pop up different shades around it. And even has like, maybe I just want to move it over here. It looks like differently. And then if you just adjust this a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, and so forth, just to kind of get what your colors are. And so I think this is a great website. That there's more than just this layout here. You can like adjust it before. You can adjust other things. But it's good for me to click pressing the space bar what I like, and then go from there. Me personally, I like to have a white. I guess like kind of like this one, a white and a black with 2 other colors. So I would do white, black, blue, and maybe a darker blue or a lighter blue. So this is very simple, very basic. But there's also like other rules where you can do, I guess there's some other presentations where there's certain categories of color combinations. But I like just doing this. And it also gives you the hex code to use for the website and so forth. But yeah, I think I'm running out of time. I think there's a cap of 15 minutes. I'm not too sure. But thank you for watching. Sorry it's a bit late, but hopefully this was good. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully my voice is okay. So thank you so much. Take care.